So today what we're doing is the Caminito Del Rey, which translates as the Little Walk of the King. And I'm about an hour, a little over an hour northeast of Marbella. What it is, it's an elevated walkway. So apparently it was built for when the workers of this reservoir needed to get to the various places in the reservoir. The old walk looked pretty kind of dangerous, you know, like a very narrow, metre wide concrete walkway. Since then, I hope it's been upgraded and it's a little bit safer than the trip that I did up the Concha the other day. Okay, let's see how we get on. Bye. So that was where I met my group, and then you go through a tunnel. This reminded me of the roller coasters at Armin's Adventure. And when you come out, you're in one of the valleys. You're not actually at the start of the Caminito yet. And the Caminito is a one-way walk. And you start at the north and you come out at the south. And during this video, what I'm going to be doing is doing a lot of voiceover. This is the actual start of it. And the thing to look for is the hard hats. There's the river. Or actually, it's not the river. That's kind of the back of the reservoir. Beautiful scenery. You pick up your hard hats and you progress along the first of 3 gorges, and this suspended walkway is on the side of these gorges, and you know when you're on the walkway because it's got the wooden slats. I was in a group of about 20 people. It was a guided tour. The whole tour lasted a couple of hours, even though the walk itself can only be 3-4 kilometers. If you were doing it by yourself, you could spin through it in an hour. The guide was really nice as well. He told you the history of it and talked about some of the flora and fauna as well. He was good. Now, if you've seen that La Concha video that I did, you'll know that I've not got a great head for heights, but this actually felt okay. The reason that you need the hard hats is you're right up against the rocks there, and if you didn't have a hard hat on, you could probably very easily crack your head against those rocks there. So this is the first gorge, and as I say, you go through 3, and this one's pretty impressive. Now on the left hand side, through those cliffs, there's a train track that goes through 12 tunnels, and if you look on the right hand side there, you can see one of the areas where the train track comes down. And if you look forwards on the right hand side, then you can see the walkway. You take it at a fairly leisurely pace.
Okay guys, now we are going down the stairs. Be careful, some people slide, okay? So be careful.
This guy had great English, good storyteller, was funny, engaging. Jamie, his name was. So this looks like an old spillway tunnel from the reservoir. This bit,
the tunnel,
yeah.
The tunnel you can see now, we are in the canal.
Yeah.
So the canal, as you can see, is not in use.
Yeah.
Okay? Anyway, the hydroelectric plant is still generating electricity. So we are using another thing to transport water from the reservoir to the hydroelectric plant. But I'll tell you later what it is.
Okay, yeah. All good.
Gavin, what's your name?
Yeah.
Did you see the train?
Yeah. So the story is the old walkway was built as a maintenance path to maintain an open water channel that channeled water from the reservoir at the top to a hydroelectric plant further on down the gorge. And above that cliff there was vultures circling in the sky. And it's a mix. It's not just all this elevated walkway. Some of it goes through kind of forest on the right hand side. And each of the gorges got more spectacular, and the last one was out of this world, and it had a suspension bridge that goes from one side to the other side. So yeah, so the story was there used to be this open channel that channeled water down to the hydroelectric plant at the end that you can see, and the original concrete path was to enable the workers to maintain the channel. And then what happened in 1970s, 1980s, it got taken over by... I got my photo taken here.
Look, Gavin.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
So then the electricity plant got taken over, probably after the end of Franco's regime, and they realised that actually if you just built a pipe tunnel through the rocks, then you don't need to maintain this water channel, and you could get rid of all the people that were maintaining the water channel. That happened. Then the walkway went into disrepair. That's me doing my Boris Johnson bit. The walkway, the old walkway, went into disrepair, but it was still open, so people were still using it. Eventually it was closed in 2000 because, you know, these adventure tourists like me on the Concha started falling off it, and I think there was 5 deaths in 2000. So then 2015, some investment, and it was opened again in 2015 like this. This is, I think, the second gorge. And I was kind of all right on this bit's like this, because you can't actually see the height that you're at. It's just a walkway. Very robust, pretty solid, very solid.
I mean, this is super safe. It's nice as you come out into the sun. It's nice and warm. And here we are in November. If you're in the shade, then it's a little bit cool. Beautiful as you come into this open bit here. I'd say the gorge below is probably 100 metres. Very pretty as you come up here.
The geology is limestone, but also there's some pretty rough looking sandstone. It's all really modern as well. It's Jurassic, so it's like 200 million years old.
Can't wait. So just down in the distance you can see the bridge, and it looks like there's a waterfall as well. Pretty.
So I've got to say, this was the bit where I didn't feel particularly comfortable. You can see the old walkway underneath the new one. And on the left hand side there is a pipe channel that used to take this water from one side to the other down to the hydroelectric plant down at the bottom. But now, as I said, that what they did was they just tunneled through the rocks to drop the water into the hydroelectric plant directly. This last gorge, I think, was the most spectacular. These steep sheets of limestone And we did see a train that went on the other side, and the train goes from Malaga to Seville, and it goes through 12 tunnels. I think I'll probably try and do that. So there's a bit of a holding pattern here because there's a good photo op just round this corner where you can get the view down the valley before you go onto the last bit, which is a suspension bridge that goes above and behind where that channel went across. This cost me €24 to go in the group. If you just go as an individual, it's €14. You aim for the north entrance, and there's a car park at the north entrance. You can either park on the side of the road, but I couldn't be asked, to be honest, so I just parked in a car park. It cost me €2, all absolutely fine and easy. And after the excitement of La Concha the day before, this was not a walk in the park, but pretty easy. Now, if you were to drop your phone, it would fall through those slats and you'd never see it again. If you look, there's one of the bridges that goes between the tunnels that the train goes across. I felt a little bit kind of queasy here because you don't realise how high you are when you haven't got anything else to compare it to. But when you see the other walkway on the other side, you think, shit. But it's dead safe, dead safe. Then there was a photo op just on the corner on the left there. Not a great look, is it? And you can see the suspension bridge behind. So that's a concrete channel that takes a pipe where the water would have gone across. As I said, doesn't need it anymore. And so here we're just holding just before we go across the suspension bridge at the end. The lady in front of me was a little bit nervous. So Jamie, the guide, must have done this 1,000 times, helping people across. And of course the suspension bridge bounces, and there's a operative of the Caminito there just to check that this isn't getting overloaded, so he makes people pause.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
So the hydroelectric plant's at the bottom. Yeah, can't say that I was looking down at this point. The lady in front was part of this group.
Well done.
Well done.
And then you're starting to head down. You can only be half a kilometre from the end of the walk. And then you come around this corner, and then you head towards the south exit, and there's a bus that takes you from the south exit back up to the north, runs every 30 minutes, costs a couple of euros. There's the suspension bridge. And that's it really. that's the walkway there. You can see the bridge in the distance. Hydroelectric plant. And then from there you walk up to, there's a meeting place where you catch the bus just to take you back up to the north. Really worth doing. Very, very recommended.